Hi everyone, I have a surprise for you today. We're going to be making meat, red meat. I know, crazy, right? Now we all know on the Mediterranean diet there's not a lot of red meat consumed. It's probably only consumed about once a month. In America we probably eat it a little more than that when we're trying to follow the Mediterranean diet. But I was just in the mood for it, and we're going to make something that I call a meatball grinder. Now, it's basically a meatball sub, but you put provolone cheese on top, and then you bake it in the oven, and it gets nice and toasty. And if you've been a follower of my channel for a while, you've probably heard me talk about the sandwich shop that my parents had growing up, and this is something that's right off their menu. So they're really fun to make, and they're even more fun to eat. So come on, let's go. To make the meatballs, I have 1.5 pounds of ground beef in this large mixing bowl, along with 1 egg, some seasoned breadcrumbs, a pinch of salt, and a little Italian seasoning. So this is the Italian seasoning I'm using. I have some Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. I have 1 egg and a little bit of salt. Now we're going to squish this all together by hand, and it really helps the meatballs stay together, because if you just use ground beef, sometimes they can fall apart as they're cooking. This is the way my mother taught me how to make it, and that's what I'm doing. Now it's time to roll out the meatballs. Now we're gonna do them kind of medium size. This is the roll that we're using, just a small torpedo roll. So you wanna do them at the size that will fit on this roll. And then we're going to bake them in the oven at 350 degrees, probably for about 20 minutes. See if they need a little more time. We'll check them to see if they're done. But sometimes people fry meatballs and then cook them in tomato sauce. We're gonna bake them because it's just a lower fat way of doing it. The fat kind of seeps out onto the parchment paper that we're gonna be using, and then you can put them into the tomato sauce, and then it's just not as greasy. So it's just a cleaner, healthier way of eating meatballs. Meatballs are done, they're out of the oven, and this is why I bake them, because you can see all the fat renders out. And now we're going to take enough of these to make our sandwiches and put them in the tomato sauce, and we're going to freeze the rest of them for another day. Now we're going to cook the meatballs for a few minutes in the sauce, and then we'll build our sandwich. To build our sandwiches. So you want to cut the roll not all the way through, and you want to be careful that you don't get the sauce along the seam, because you don't want your roll to fall apart. So you might be tempted to put a lot of sauce on, but it's actually better if you don't put too much. So I'm filling this with meatballs, as many as fit across. I think I'll squeeze a 5th one in here. So there we go. And then I'm going to put a little sauce along the edges here. Careful not to get it on the seam, because I like to have a lot of sauce, but I don't want to break the roll. So there we go. Now I'm going to put some cheese on top. So I have provolone cheese. It's pretty thick, so I'm going to break these in half, these slices, and then use 1/2 there, 1/2 there. It'll get all nice and toasty in the oven. Okay, as you can see, this cheese is already starting to melt a little bit. I'm going to shake on a little bit of oregano. We're going to finish these off in the oven so the roll gets nice and toasty and the cheese melts. That's the next step. I put them on a baking sheet, and I put some foil down just to catch the drips, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. And now they're going into the oven, just for about 5 minutes, just to get them a little toasty. me today. I hope you enjoyed that meatball grinder sandwich and you try one for yourself. And let me know in the comments down below if you do try it and how you liked it. Please share this video with your friends, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to check out my new cookbook. There's a link in the description down below, and I will see you later. Bye!